This video is actually part of a series of lectures that are in a class entitled The MBTI Learning Styles, the 16 Personalities. You can access this course at udemy.com, teachable.com, or thinkific.com. You can also find more information at studentsuccessbase.com, which is our website, and the information is in printed format on Amazon in both a paperback and Kindle versions.
As we move forward, let's remember that these are the sensing plus feeling learners. They really, I cannot emphasize this enough, need a warm atmosphere, harmony. They're people-oriented and they like to focus on reality, hands-on, tactile kinds of things. So as we look at this, let's look at the general personality description of this kind of a learner or this personality. They're warm-hearted, conscientious, cooperative, harmonious. They like to work with determination and they're going to establish that harmony. They like to work with others to complete tasks accurately. They're loyal. They like to follow through. They notice the needs in their day-to-day lives and they're going to provide them. They want to be appreciated for who they are. Some people will even say that they're organized and orderly, but the greatest thing is that they're sociable, outgoing, and they're enthusiastic. They're actually very energetic about being with other people and by being learners. As we look at this, look at here. This is 12.3% of the total population. This is one of the most frequent kind of personality that you're going to run into in the world. They are cooperative and communicative. The learner question really helps. Will this help me in my work with others? Remember, it goes back to that foundation of harmony. So their learning styles. ESFJs are really interested in learning facts and information that are related to people. They're related to relationships. Harmony again, back to harmony. They need active communication to learn. They are very verbal learners and they learn from verbally working through information. So if you can find a way or a space for them to be able to speak out loud, that's going to help them. They're hardworking and they're conscientious. They want everybody to be happy. And so for this, they're going to implement whatever they are learning. They're going to look for ways to use their new knowledge and they want to immediately implement it. They want to seek what is best for everybody. So for the ESFJ also, remember to engage all of the senses and emotions because that helps them to integrate and to recall new knowledge. They love to learn in an organized space. They prefer order and sequential instructions. They also have really strong management skills. They like to learn practical information because theory really frustrates them. People say that they are really committed to preserving traditions. I like that part about them. They are decisive, thorough, and very consistent. Now, in a classroom, they're going to need an environment that is really devoted to the 5 senses and engaging emotions. So like a Montessori space would be really good for them. A traditional classroom with the teacher as the front or the stage on the stage does not work well for this student. They do like, though, to learn in structured or unstructured classrooms, so they're flexible. But most important, they need to have hands-on and real-life examples. They like to learn independently or can learn independently, but they prefer to learn with other people because they're social. It's part of that extroverted. So when they learn independently, think of it as a funnel, and everything that you're pouring in, the energy is just pouring right back out the other side. So if you can give them a social atmosphere to learn in, that's going to contain their energy at the same time that they're containing all of that information. They love cooperation and support, and that's probably the greatest foundation because they don't work well with competitive environments, and they really do not do well where there is discord or competition of any kind. They love to understand how others learn as well. I like this part here where in the introduction to type, when they describe this kind of person where they say they're personable, cooperative, tactful. How wonderful. They are warm and sympathetic because they love other people. So let's look at situations in which this kind of a learner is most comfortable and least comfortable. One of my favorite things to talk about with a student who is an ESFJ is to remember that verbal piece. And when you are working with a learner who is a verbal learner, provide them with space that they can talk things out. With my own husband, who is a verbal learner, he likes to pace. And so he will actually take his notes, his tablet, his whatever he's got, right, where he's learning, and he will pace in a quiet space, usually the master bedroom or his office, and he will speak out loud. So be sure that you give that opportunity to these learners. Make sure that they have real life applications, right? They need to collaborate, work with other people, because remember, that's what's really going to cause that energy to build, because they get their energy from being with other people. They will actually grow energy almost, right? So it's kind of a nice way to think about it. They don't like judgment, but they do love being the very center of attention. So whenever you call on them, they will absolutely love that. So they are less comfortable when you focus your attention on somebody else, because they don't like that. They want the attention. They like to be able to participate, and because of that, they will not do well in a lecture space or somewhere where they have to observe. They don't like theory, competition. Remember, harmony. Harmony is the foundation of this kind of a learner. They don't like passive learning or analyzing data. These people really, they're going to worry, they're going to feel guilty, they're going to become desensitized, and they feel frustrated and nervous when you put them in situations where they are less comfortable. Let's look at some teaching tips. So as an educator, let's provide ESFJs with interactions that involve all of the senses and engage emotions. That's going to help them to really recall the new information and to be able to find connections between the human side and the information. They really enjoy real life examples and hands-on, so if you can provide some experiences for them to be able to touch things and to be tactile, to be able to work things out. And remember that verbal learner piece, the group discussions. Of course, when you do group discussions, avoid debate, because they don't like competition or disagreements. They prefer that you are able to, or they're able to discuss options with people who have the same point of view that they have. So group work works well for them, but you really need to avoid that contention. Remember again, harmony. They need harmony. So as an educator, make sure that you provide the ESFJs. Make sure that you provide these ESFJs with guidelines, roles, expectation. Give them some structure to their group so that way they can really change up and to be able to organize their group dynamics without having a lot of contention. They need a caring instructor who really is going to show some interest in them and really pay attention to not just how they learn, but their personal life as well. They only want positive feedback. I cannot tell you that more strictly. Have to have positive feedback. ESFJs do really, really horribly at criticism. They don't welcome it all, but they do memorize very, very well. They need opportunities to question. Let them ask a lot of questions. And it even might be beneficial if you were to provide them with other resources. So a great methodology to work with or to use with ESFJs is when you do reciprocal teaching. Teach them something and then give them space to teach that information to someone else. Let's look at life as a learner. So being an ESFJ means that you're a learner who prefers to experience learning and you want to share what you've learned. Remember that reciprocal teaching we were just talking about? Yeah, learn it and then share it. Give it to somebody else, because remember, you're sociable, outgoing, enthusiastic, and you're energetic. Be sure to share that energy with other people. You can work in groups, but make sure that you set up some guidelines and expectations prior to working. And if your instructor or your teacher doesn't give you those kind of guidelines, ask them. Say, I really don't do well with contention. Can you give me some guidelines and some roles within our group to help us organize our group without contention? People, honestly, the teachers love it when you ask questions. They want to help. They are there to help. So if groups aren't possible, though, find a study buddy. Search out opportunities for a supplemental instruction and make sure always that you're able to use that verbal aspect. You want to develop your relationship with your peers, your classmates, your instructors, and make sure that you share your life beyond the classroom. Make sure that you're physically active when you are studying, like take a walk or pace while you're learning information, or maybe you want to go to the gym. Be sure that you put your textbook or whatever you're learning right there in front of your face, because activity is really going to help you and aid you in recalling that information. Also, set learning guidelines, goals, and charts. Make sure that you create some visual aspect for yourself so that you can see the progress that you're making in your learning, such as a graphic organizer or a Gantt chart. Also, just plain and simply look for these practical applications that you can use.